Warning, the Raiders report does not condone the trades submitted. These trade ideas from fans are intended for a mature audience. We encourage viewers to not lose their timing mind. Viewer discretion is advised. The first trade is from Shane Gorney, and all these trades, just so you know, making me a little gorny. Trade Karl Joseph, a second-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. So pair him with Garyon Conley, then you got two shutdown corners. So Shane Gorney, here you go. Here's your trade idea. Jags receive Karl Joseph in that second-round pick. The Raiders, they get a lockdown corner in Jalen Ramsey. So just so everyone knows, you're going to see a lot of trade ideas. Instead of cursing, let's be nice. Throw in the comment section if one's just blowing your mind. All you got to do is put the word Tom. So let's say the Raiders pull off this trade. Then you have Jalen Ramsey, and then you have a shutdown corner in Garyon Conley. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Ramsey, Garyon Conley, Abram, Karl Joseph, and LaMarcus Joyner all together in one secondary. I would argue this might be the best secondary in football. Garyon Conley, I think, has the upside to be a top 10 cornerback. We know that. Jalen Ramsey, I don't care what PFF says. I don't care what some random guy in his car says. Jalen Ramsey is a very good cornerback. And then Jonathan Abram, Karl Joseph, LaMarcus Joyner. That gives us an absolutely dynamic secondary that is going to allow the Raiders to compete in a very, very tough division. So I'm going to ask everybody who's watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, should the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? I want you to type T for trade. I want you to type D for don't. Let's keep the show rolling here. We're going with a little flip. Trade a second-round pick for the Lions cornerback Darius Slay, very underrated, and would be a cheaper option than Jalen Ramsey. So, little flip. I think this is an interesting idea. So, only a second-round pick in 2020 for Darius Slay. So, compared to the whole Garyon Conley trade that we just showed, that involved a first-round pick. And, hey, I like Darius Slay. I think he's a very talented player. So, what I wanted to do here, little flip, since you think Darius is we'll say a underrated, I wanted to compare him to Jalen Ramsey over the last 3 years. Tackles, advantage Ramsey. Pass breakups, Slay. Interceptions, advantage Slay. Touchdowns, well, they're split. Also, Jalen Ramsey has yet to miss a game. Darius Slay's battled a few more injuries. So, nation, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Who's the better player? I want you to type R for Jalen Ramsey, or I want you to type S for Darius Slay. If you want to know what I think, slide in those DMs at Mitchell Renz 365. So, Lil Flip's getting his money's worth because he sent me another trade idea that, guess what, tomed my mind. Probably a long shot trade, but trade a 2020 first-round pick and Brandon Parker, in quotes here. I know Parker is trash, but so is the Falcons O-line, for Julio Jones. Julio wants money, and him and AB and Tyrell would be unstoppable. So, here you go. A first-round pick in 2020 and Brandon Parker for Julio Jones. Lil Flip, I think the Falcons would flip you off for even trying to get Julio Jones for a first-round pick and Brandon Parker. Because when you look at what Julio's done the last 4 years, it's absolutely sensational. Heck, he's led the NFL in receiving yards 3 out of the last 4 years. And when you look at 2015, yeah, really solid numbers. When you look at last year, yeah, really solid numbers. But we're going to have some fun here. Imagine this receiving core. Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, and Tyrell Williams. Oh, my Lord. I think Derek Carr, at that point, might actually have a chance to throw for 5,000 yards and might have a chance for 40 touchdowns. I'm telling you what, why do I love this show? Because we get to interact with the fans, we get awesome trade ideas, and if you guys want to get on the show, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/RaidersReport, the #1 Raiders channel on the internet right now, and it's because of the interaction that we have with our YouTube community. So one more time, subscribe, and make sure you turn on those notifications so you know exactly when I go live. All right, let's keep it rolling. Here's some trade ideas. Donald Jones, I'll tell you what, I received a lot of trade ideas. This one might be my favorite. Trade Tom Cable for, well, hell, nothing. #FC. And I love when people use FC. So, this is what I want you guys to do. DM me FC on Twitter at MitchellRenz365 because I know the people who DM me FC are my most loyal watchers, and I'm going to hook you guys up with something special. Let's keep it rolling here with Marcel Thuston. Let's trade a second and a fifth for Patrick Peterson. So, Marcus, Patrick Peterson's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and I get it. He's getting older. But the Cardinals, I don't really think would trade Patrick Peterson for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. I think, to be honest, they'd be pretty drunk if they did that. Speaking of pretty drunk, I had a hell of a weekend. I really did, but I got to hang out with my dad. I got to hang out with him at my buddy's wedding, so shout out to Ryan and Tori for getting married. But I posted this picture on Instagram, and I tell you guys all the time to interact with me on IG and Twitter. So for those of you who commented on this IG pic, I'm going to give you a shout out right now. So Nate said, "I thought you were Julian Edelman. Laugh my ass off." Well, here's a pro tip, Nate. Don't laugh it off too much because, you got to have some sort of booty. But I've actually gotten this Julian Edelman thing a lot. So you see me right now. Do you guys think that I look like Julian Edelman? I want you to type Y for yes, type N for no. If you think that I look like somebody that should never be in the Hall of Fame, type Y for yes or type N for no. Let's keep it moving here on some of these comments. Samurai Raiders, one of my most loyal watchers. I actually Googled this. So this means nice photo. So shout out to you. We're going to Zach now on IG. Do you think that this is the best father and son duo on earth? 5 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. Close to my brand, but yeah, my dad, he's my dude. And then this last one, Jordan. Dude, absolutely loved it. Does Mitchell Renz's father look like he's a part of the mafia? 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. So I'm going to show you the picture one more time. So do you guys think that my dad looks like he's a part of the mafia? Because 2 Chucky heads, people are talking. So I'm going to ask everyone, is my dad in the mafia? 4 for believe it, baby, or 0 for tuck rule. Tuck that, Dad. I know you're watching. I expect to see some 4s in the comments section. All right, let's keep the trade ideas rolling here. Going to Matt. Raiders should trade for defensive end Carlos Dunlap with the Bengals. Dunlap had his best years while playing under Paul Guenther. Well, Matt, I don't know if you remember this, but here's my trade idea that I came up with. So the Bengals, they received a third-round pick in 2020. Now, he's 30 years old. The Bengals, they're trying to acquire extra picks, and the Raiders received Carlos Dunlap. You can tell me right now if there's a single player who I'd want the Raiders to trade for more. I don't know if I could do it because I want Carlos Dunlap in silver and black because of the production that he's had with Paul Guenther. Remember, Paul Guenther was the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, and now you have Carlos Dunlap, who when he was with Guenther, heck, when Carlos Dunlap was doing his thing, he was one of the best defensive ends in the entire league. Heck, I still would argue he's one of the best defensive ends into the entire league. Omar, your turn to get on the show. Trade Jalen Richard to the Vikings for Kyle Rudolph. I thought the Kyle Rudolph trade rumors were done. And then Omar G is like, nah, G, I'm giving you this one. So the Vikings received Jalen Richard. The Raiders received Kyle Rudolph. This one, I think, greatly benefits the Oakland Raiders, and I think the Vikings would laugh at us for trying to do this trade. So I'm going to ask you guys, trade Jalen Richard for Kyle Rudolph, YT for yes trade, YN for no trade. If you know what YT is, you probably work here at Chat Sports. And then if you know what YT is, this video is going to be about 80 minutes long. So trade Jalen Richard for Kyle Rudolph, YT or YN. Ronaldo Gonzalez, get a picture. Trade Tom Cable for a Klondike bar. Pro tip, don't look up Klondike bar. You're not going to like what you find. But I love Klondike bars. So I'm going to ask everybody who's watching right now, better Klondike bar. C for chocolate, V for vanilla. There is only one right answer here. And I mean, it's not even close. So C for chocolate, V for vanilla. If you guys want to know what I think, hit me up, IG, Twitter, Mitchell Renz 365. Deshaun Lewis. Trade Derek Carr. Oh, I can already wait to see this one. And both 2 first-round picks. Both 2 first-round picks. We only have 1 this year. For Andrew Luck. So I think that what you're going with here is the Colts received Derek Carr and a first-round pick in 2020 and a first-round pick in 2021. The Raiders receive Andrew Luck. Wow. So I love Andrew Luck, all right? And it's hard not to. 39 touchdowns last year, 15 interceptions. Sure, he didn't play in 2017, but he won Comeback Player of the Year. 2016, 31 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. 2015, he's been banged up. Andrew Luck, I think, is a top 5 quarterback, and I respect Derek Carr, but there is no way the Colts are giving up Andrew Luck. And to be honest, I'd rather have Andrew Luck over Derek Carr in the first 2 first-round picks. So, idea, sorry, I'm going to throw that one out. What you guys shouldn't throw out is free money, and go use my free money that I'm literally giving you guys right now. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Use my promo code GORAIDERS for a 100% deposit bonus. How about this? Anybody who wants to get started with my bookie, I personally will FaceTime you and set it up with you. Sound good? DM me. Literally just say the word FaceTime, and we're going to DM. We're going to talk. Chatsports.com/Raiders. Use that promo code, Go Raiders. Carlos Gonzalez. I wouldn't trade you for anything. Daryl Worley, a 2020 first, and a third for Jalen Ramsey. So here is our second Jalen Ramsey trade. Daryl Worley, a first-round pick in 2020, and a third-round pick in 2020 for Jalen Ramsey. That's pretty steep. That's pretty steep to me. So I want to see what you guys think about this one. Would you guys want to do it? Yes, no, throw it in the comments section. Let's go to top niche. I think that's how you would pronounce that. I'm not quite sure. Brandon Cooks for Marcel Aitman, a third and a fifth. You know, guys, I understand that Marcel, will say, had an okay year last year. He started playing in Week 11. The Rams, the Rams would not do this trade. Marcel Aitman, 7th-round pick for Brandon Cooks, who, again, has 4 straight years of over 1,000 yards. And no, I love you guys, and I respect a lot of you. But, however, I think we're good. I think the Rams are good. Oh, look at that. Speaking of that, Patron Man and company. So I saw a lot of people were like, no, I don't think the Raiders are going to make any more trades. I think we are good. And hey, I'm all about it. I do like Patron. I've been sipping on it a few times down here in Dallas. And if you guys think that what I do here is good, I'm going to ask one more time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube, youtube.com/Raiders Report. And make sure you guys always interact with me on IG and on Twitter, @MitchellRenz365. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.